This is my 2016 Yamaha YZF-R3. I'm selling it. I just put it up on Craigslist, and I thought I'd take a few minutes just to walk through some of the changes I've made to the bike and just show off the condition that it's in. If you're not familiar with the R3, it is a 321cc water-cooled, fuel-injected, 6-speed transmission bike. Thing's been a blast. I bought it just as a weekend toy, and pretty quickly ended up commuting on it. And after a year of commuting with this, I'm just looking for something a little bit more appropriate. I do 100 miles a day, and I'm just looking for something more tuned toward the commute and less tuned toward just playing around in the neighborhood. So let's see, it's in fantastic condition overall. It's got 3,000 miles on it. But I listed a list of changes I've done to the bike, and I thought I'd walk through those. First one on the list is the Yamaha R6 throttle tube. If you're not familiar with that, the R3 throttle, you have to twist it quite a ways in order to get a response from the bike, and they do that because it is considered a beginner bike and they want it to be a little more user-friendly. The only problem I had with it is, you get on a road where the speed limit is, 50, 60 miles an hour, and what you would have to do is rotate the throttle, milk your hand forward, and rotate it the rest of the way to get your throttle turned enough in order to do speed limits. The R6 throttle tube it doesn't require as much of a twist, doesn't give you any more power, it's just less twist. This is the original R3, and you can see where the cable's hooked in, and the diameter on the R6 throttle tube is just different, so you get a better response from the bike. Doesn't give you any more power, but better response. I've also got these little foam grips. They're just sleeves, they slide on. Got them off Amazon for like 15 bucks. Cuts down on the vibrations and just makes the ride more comfortable. Again, I'm on this thing for an hour and a half each way, and I just wanted it to be comfortable, so I added those on. I wanted a tank pad. There's a lot of tank pads available. They're pretty cheap. I wanted one that looked nice and was perfectly cut for the bike, so I got mine straight from Yamaha. Wasn't cheap, 50 bucks, but it is, in my opinion, it's perfect. It just looks awesome, and I think anything else looks kind of half-ass on the bike, so I went with that run. I wanted some crash protection. I don't plan on crashing the bike, but if it does fall over, I wanted to make sure damage was minimal. So I went with the Vagabond frame sliders. There's one on each side of the bike. There's a bunch of different frame sliders available. I chose these because they're effective, and more importantly, they locate them in a position where you don't have to cut into your fairing, and they don't hit your knees when you're on the bike. And like the Shoguns, they hit your right knee. I didn't want those. I've also got the Vagabond Fender Eliminator. I mean, the original Fender came, way out to here. That's just much cleaner. I tied in the license plate light right up above it, and I'll show you that in a minute. But it really, really cleans up the look of the bike. Absolutely necessary. What else? I put a Coffman slip-on exhaust on. Just gives it a deeper sound. Bike sounds really good when it's running. They provide this exhaust shield, and it's got a cutout that says R3, and it was just a hole, and I didn't like that, so I took a piece of aluminum, put a real nice shine on it, polished it with my Dremel, got it really shiny, and I placed it back there with just a couple dots of silicone, clear silicone, so it'll pop right out if you want to. But it's been there a year, and it just dresses it up. Looks much better. The exhaust definitely fits the bike. Sounds better. You can be heard, which is increasing your safety. And overall, I like it. I took the rear pegs off. I never have passengers, so the rear pegs, they came out like this, and it just looked busy on the bike. I popped those off. I made these little plates just to clean it up a little bit. Those are the factory bolts right there, so these can be popped right back on if you want to have you know, a pillion, you want to have a rear passenger, you can totally do that. What else? I have adjustable levers. Most guys are going with the cheapo Chinese levers. You can get them off eBay for 30-40 bucks. These are made in the US. These came from Jesse over at r3racing.com. His company is Norton Fab Motorsports. US made. The guy's awesome. Fantastic service. And he doesn't make crap. These will last forever. They do fold. You know, if the bike falls, you're not going to break your levers. And they are 6-way adjustable. You know, they just give you, let's see if I can get my light in here. They just give you a change of reach. They're beautiful, and you can tell their quality when you compare them to the ones you get off of Amazon or eBay. All right, I got an integrated tail light. The factory tail light was clear or red, and what I didn't like about it is it was just a tail light. And you know, for safety, I'm always pulsing my brakes so that the back light would flash. This does it for you. So that's the tail light. Let's see if I can do this without killing myself. And when you hit the brakes, it strobes. And another cool thing is it integrates the directionals as well, which is pretty cool. Now, I didn't want just that because at night I wanted it to be very clear what my intentions are while turning, you know, to other drivers. So I put these small directionals in as well. They're made by Lighttech. I got them off of Revzilla. They were a little spendy, but they're pretty awesome. They're directionals, they're running lights, and they're brake lights. They're very bright at night. I love them. And the nice thing about them is when the bike is off, they're damn near invisible. Again, just cleans up the look of the bike. It looks so much better like that. Pretty stealth. I've also got TST's Flushmount directionals. These are the halos. The original lights sat like this, and they vibrate quite a bit when you're going down the road. It just looks silly. So I went with these halo lights, and the reason they call them halos is they provide you with a ring of light, and then when you hit your directional, they're a directional, and they're running lights. And that's great because the factory ones were not running lights. And again, more light, more visibility. Just a safer way of riding around. Going back to the protection, I've got front axle sliders. These are from TST Industries as well. They're made by Lighttech. I've got bar end sliders. These are weighted as well, so they cut down on vibrations a little bit. And then I've also got their rear spools as well. So those are all on the bike. What else? What else? I've got a radiator guard in here. You don't want your radiator fins getting all banged up. So I put that little guard in there, got it off of eBay. Fits perfect. It's held in with just a couple of zip ties, so it'll pop right out if you need to. But it does the job. I've also got a kickstand pad on here. I didn't like the angle of the bike when it was parked, you know, when it's on its side stand. That just raises it up a little bit, and there's less chance of the kickstand sinking into the pavement, you know, on a really, really hot day. So, got that going for it. Other things I've done, I don't know if I'll keep it there or not, but I got an X grip for my cell phone. Sits right there. And I have a 12-volt socket that I've installed, which is really cool because I got this little gadget right here, and it plugs in, and it gives you a USB port, and it's also GPS. So when you park your bike, you have an app on your phone, and you can open it up and you can see exactly where you parked your bike or where it was last when the bike was running. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, overall the bike is in phenomenal shape. It's in great shape. I've kept it garaged 100% of the time, both at home and lucky enough that at the office I have a garage as well. So the bike is tip-top perfect. Let's see, the only other thing I can tell you is I've upgraded the headlights. It's hard for the camera to pick it up, especially in the day. This is a super white LED right here. And I've also upgraded the headlight bulbs as well. This thing just lights up the road at night so much better than the factory stock. Again, safety was paramount for me. I wanted to be able to see where I'm going, so. Looks perfect, runs perfect, and it's in tip-top shape. So any other questions, give me a yell through my Craigslist post, and have a good day. See you later.